The Penguin. This is the Max show that came out towards the end of last year. Why am I holding onto my microphone when I could just clip it on? I don't know. Anyways, The Penguin. This is a show that came out towards the end of last year. I'm just finally getting onto it. I don't know why it took so long for me to watch this. I liked 2022's The Batman, the one that Matt Reeves did with Robert Pattinson. Loved Colin Farrell as the Penguin in that movie. So I don't know why this took so long to get to. Um, I also heard about how great this show was as it was going on. I think the fact that the Batman 2 has been delayed so many times, and how I'm kind of starting to believe that we're never going to see the Batman 2 with Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves, kind of makes me feel like I didn't need to watch this show. But I finally watched it. Boy, can I say that this show is great, and I should have been on this show so much sooner, because this show is so interesting. It is like Sopranos meets Breaking Bad meets Psycho, which sounds insane, but Psycho is one of my favorite movies of all time. So some of the things that were feeling very psycho-y to me really resonated me with this show. And I just found it so fascinating, so intense, so thrilling, so dark. This is very much an R-rated show, but it still feels like it takes place in the PG-13 world that is the Batman. Um, let's start with Colin Farrell here. Colin Farrell is absolutely fantastic. As Oswald, you barely tell it's him, but you can see it in his eyes that it is him. He's just such a great actor. The story kind of surrounds the Falcones, the Maronis, very much kind of like a gangster drug family kind of story. Again, that's kind of where the Sopranos of it kind of comes into place, and the Breaking Bad of it comes into place. And Cristin Milioti, she's fantastic. She plays Sophia. She's absolutely wonderful. Intense. You understand why she is the way she is. Um, and then you also have what's the kid's name? I can't remember the kid's name. It's been a while since I've actually watched the show. I've been so busy. We're gonna find out in a second here. Anyways, all the acting in this is absolutely fantastic. I just absolutely loved the acting in the show. I think it is done also so well. We're gonna find out. Victor, that's it. Victor is absolutely fantastic. I love that he is this innocent character at the end of the day, mixed in with Oz, who is not innocent. As the show goes on and on, we realize just how terrible of a human being he is. This is not one of those shows where it's like, he's actually a good guy, misunderstood. No, he's a terrible human being. Specifically, the last couple episodes really showing us like what some of the things he's done. The last episode and how things end, I won't spoil it for you. I was like, holy crap, he just did that. And you just see the sadness to this character as well. He's just a very miserable human being, and I just found it so fascinating. His character is absolutely fascinating. The special effects in the show, for the little bits that they do have, look pretty good for a TV miniseries essentially. The makeup, that makeup is just fantastic. You just can't tell it's Colin Farrell. Direction of this is absolutely great. It's just such a solid show. The story is so intense and thrilling. It is dark. I will say that it is a very dark show. This is not some light and fluffy thing, but that also kind of makes sense with the world that the Batman takes place in. I was talking to someone recently about how I really like the Batman. I haven't gone to rewatch it as much as other Batmans just because of how dark it is, how long it is, how it is meant to feel kind of like Fincher-esque Seven kind of movie. So it is tougher to watch, but it is so thrilling, so fascinating, so great. And I really, really enjoyed the show with how dark it was and just where it went. And just bringing up things from Oz's childhood was fascinating to see, and how it's kind of spilled over into him as an adult and what he's doing now. Just such a solid show. I don't have much else to say about this one. I don't want to say too much about this in case someone hasn't watched this show. If you have, the big things to spoil is really the last couple episodes, the things in his past as him as a child with his family. The things with what he does in the final episode is kind of crazy. Um, those are the big spoilers for me. And then Sophia, in particular, is almost just as much a main character in the series as Oz is, because just the things that it really delves into, and the fact that there's an entire episode on her, which you would think would kind of take away from the show, but it actually does a lot for the show, and I absolutely loved that episode. Um, yeah, I just think this show was really well done. Um, and it feels like it's a part of the Batman universe, which is very appropriate. And it feels like it belongs in that universe, even though it is very much R-rated. There's a lot of F-bombs dropped in all these episodes, a lot of dark things that happen. But it just fit really nicely in with the tone. And Colin Farrell is so good. He won the Golden Globe for his role here. Definitely well deserved, even though I don't love the Golden Globes. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, this was a really awesome show. If you haven't checked this out, you are a fan of the 2022 Batman movie that Matt Reeves directed. Definitely check this one out. I'm gonna give this a solid 9 out of 10. I think there's definitely maybe a little bit of moments that are just a little fluffy or such like that. But other than that, this show is just so solid. For the most part, pretty tight. There's reasons behind everything that you see on screen, and it just really worked for me. So, you guys, have you seen the Batman or the Penguin? I'm sorry to say, have you seen the Batman 2? And do you think that there's going to be a Batman 2 at this point? I am kind of the fact that it's been pushed back like 3 different times. The fact that there's just not a lot of actually the things that they're saying are just kind of interesting that I don't necessarily buy. So I'm curious to see what happens with the Batman 2. I'm curious to see if we ever see Penguin season 2. I'm curious to see if we ever even see this universe ever again. If we don't, that's kind of sad because I like the Batman a lot and I like the Penguin a lot. So that would really suck. So, you guys, I hope you guys have yourself a great day. Don't do anything I went to, and hey, I'll see you next time.